Hi, this is Easy Ann coming to you from a place and space of ease and grace. I have with me one of my best friends, and we have been together for a very long time and gone through thick and thin, good and bad times. And I'm going to have her, we're going to talk about some of those good and bad times together. She's a former school teacher. I think she's doing some substitute teaching now. She lives in Florida. She has had quite the life. She's traveled. She has done everything you could do metaphysically. Like, I mean, if you say standing on your head is going to bring you closer to God, she would do it. So she's done everything that she could in her spiritual search. I'd like for you to welcome my great friend, my best friend, Emilie Blanchard. Hi,
Hey, and it's great to be here.
Yay.
Great to be with you.
Yay. I'm so glad that you're here. And so today I want to talk about making our lives easier. And
I'm all for that.
Yeah, let's make our lives easier. And there's always two aspects of making our lives easier. And that is one, when we're going through really difficult times, that making it easier so that the burden is lifted. And the other thing is going through times that are not really difficult, but we've made them difficult through our mind and our thought. Now, when we're going through really difficult times, often people have this perfectionism that says, I don't want to be around people. I'm going to hold back because I'm not happy. I'm not positive. I'm not miserable. What do you have to say about that?
Well, a lot of times it's so much easier to just hibernate with negative feelings because you think that you have to be something to be able to be vulnerable to people. And so really it's doing yourself a disfavor to just stay on your own. It's better to reach out. It does take a little bit of vulnerability, but if you're willing to reach out and share some feelings, not just repeat all the negative stuff, but being open to listen or to have your feelings validated, it's really more helpful than just hibernating. And as we used to say in Al-Anon, staying on the pity pot. You've got to take some action. You've either got to or get off the pity pot.
Well, I think that's where it takes a little bit of wisdom, and that is that we also know who we can go to, because there's some people that if you say, I'm really feeling bad, and they say, oh, there's a gift in that, you should look at the gift, this immediate kind of denial, and they don't have the ability to deal with their own shadows and their own stuff. Then we know who they are, and it's fine that people are that way. I mean, we can have them be really good friends with us, but we're people that we know how it is. They don't do a spiritual bypass, and those are the people that we can go to when times are bad. When we don't reach out when times are bad, it's like not going to the doctor when we're sick. It's like, I'm going to wait until I'm well before I go to the doctor. Our friends are our doctors.
Exactly.
Our talking together is therapy.
It really is. And it's exactly like you say, who you can go to. I have a lady friend who is very, very nice, but she's been a strong woman and an independent woman. And sometimes when I share some of my feelings with her, I don't feel very validated because she tends to negate them. And then what that does for me, not just her, but if anybody were to do that, it makes me feel that my feelings aren't valid, that I don't have a right to feel the way I do. And we always, all of us, have a right to feel the way we do, because our feelings are part of our experience. What we do with those feelings and those emotions is what gets us out onto a boat to make it across the river, or we can just stay on the shore and let the water wash up upon us and drown in negative feelings. So we have to be wise about who we share with, but it is much better to reach out.
And we have to be wise about how we share. For example, if I share and I'm talking about how bad someone else is, then I'm not really sharing about me. It has to be I statements. I am feeling upset. I am not okay. It's not, you won't believe what that person did to me. I mean, they're just so mean. You just go, when I'm in the presence of this person, there's really no support. and it's hard for me to be around that person, and my feelings are hurt. And so that's taking responsibility and sharing. And then there's another way, and that is that when we whine, we want to be careful about how we talk about it. I've noticed that I can tell a story of being upset or think, and I can say, this is very difficult. I mean, like I was in a car crash, I was in a car crash, and I can say,
Right.
well, I was in a head-on car crash, and that was pretty difficult, and I'm dealing from the fallout. Or I could be going, I was in this car crash, and I was just so scared. I mean, you can see the difference in that. It's like I take on the event and then I put on a martyr cap,
Yes.
or a poor me cap. And I don't, friends will not respond well to that. We have to be responsible in the way that we share our pain, which sounds a little weird, but we don't have to be positive. We just don't have to be positive about our pain. We can just say, I will get through this, but right now I need to be in it because it is here in this moment.
And you mentioned something about that. I think it was in yesterday's or Tuesday's writing. You said that every single event does not have to teach us a lesson, and that we don't have to see the meaning in everything, because seeing the meaning behind why am I feeling this way or why am I suffering, there's no point in that. The point is to just understand that's how you feel right now. And if you want to bring in a touch of Buddhism, the Buddha said that life is suffering. There is suffering in life. However, like EZosophy says, you can choose to suffer, or you can choose to just be in it. Know that you can make it a little bit easier by just accepting what is and knowing that you'll get through it. But let go of the drama of suffering.
Right.
Not to say that you're not gonna suffer, because like I suffered hurt feelings when my dear dog died about a month ago, but I had to just accept it, make it easy on myself by allowing myself to feel the pain. I spent the money to have his little precious body cremated so that I can have it here in my house in a little urn dog thing. And so that comforts me. So we have to allow ourselves to comfort ourselves, be kind to ourselves, and to just let go of the necessity to learn a lesson from every single thing. The lesson will come if we're open to it.
Yes. Another thing that we had talked about before one time was that often when we're going through bad times, we don't trust ourselves.
Absolutely.
We have this self-critical thing that says, I can't do anything. Why does this always happen to me? I think it's important that we remember that just because we're going through bad times, that our wisdom has not left. That
our wisdom is still there. That's what's so important, because when I was recently going through a financial challenge with my house, and I felt like the sky was going to fall in, I thought, come on, Emilie, you've been through worse things than this. I'm a cancer survivor, so I always say, come on, you survived cancer. You can get through this. You've got the strength. You just have to believe that the strength and the courage is there. It's not of you, it's of your higher self. And that's always there. We just forget it. When bad times come, we think, oh, it's all gone. It's not gone. It's there. You've just covered it up with some heavy emotion, and that will clear as you let yourself process and go through it and accept it.
Yeah. And sometimes we don't have to make choices to choose out of it. Sometimes just action. For example, one day a few weeks ago, I was feeling very heavy and burdened and overwhelmed. And I went into the kitchen and there was this beautiful music. It was Beethoven's music. And I just listened to that and started dancing. And all of the concerns that I had they just left. I didn't have to figure out what was wrong. I didn't need to do anything. It's okay. We can try to analyze it. There's not a right or wrong way to do it, but I'm saying just in the moment and being fully present and letting the music take me over, then all of the burden, everything shifted. There was no more overwhelm. There was no more burden. Everything shifted. So
something on that same line, I'm sorry to interrupt. Something I've realized is that you can have joy in the moment just for a short time. just like you said, if I walked into the front room the other day and YouTube was on and there was a funny music video, I mean, my body's racked with arthritis. I sometimes walk like I'm 90 years old, but I started jumping around to the music, and that was joyful. I don't have to say, oh, just because life's not so good right now, I don't deserve to be joyful. No, you can just be happy and joyful in the moment and then pick up your burdens later.
That's a great,
If you
that's a great thought. It's like in this moment, it's not happening. I used to worry about whether or not I would have enough money when I retired. And and I said, wait for that. I mean, do what you can. And yeah, I did open up an IRA. I think I was like 40 years old when I opened up that IRA and paid off my bills. I did a lot of things, but it was like I could only do what I could do. And then I would just have to trust the universe.
That's exactly it. Trusting the universe. Just do what you can do. We said a while back, start where you are, use what you've got, and just begin. I think there's one part of that I left off, but start with what you've got, where you are, and just get started. And you can do that for short periods of time and experience success in being joyful, even though it might not last the whole day because events will come up. My daughter texted me a while ago that her son is in the ER with yet another physical trauma from a job he took the other day. And I thought, yeah. And then, the negative mind trip started going. And I thought, no, I'm just going to let that go. Whatever is. I can just be okay with it. Today is all I have to deal with. I don't have to solve my life or anybody else's life in this moment.
That's great. So I think as we grow older, we learn to recover from codependency, thinking that we have to take care of things as they come up. And we just don't. We don't have to figure out other people's lives. We don't really have to do anything except for be present and then see what arises from this present awareness as to what action we should take.
Absolutely.
Too often what we do is we try to take action from an efforting place, like I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to control this. And that's not the easy way. The easy way really is to be still and to allow what activity needs to occur to come through and to have that insight. So I think we've made some good points today about suffering. And I just want to remind you that I am Easy Ann. And for sure, I want you to know that I love you. That's what I've got to say. And I wonder if you've got anything that you want to say, Emilie.
Well, let's see. In all my wisdom, I would just say that right now, looking out at the glorious trees against a slightly blue sky, having gone through the tremors of fear of Elsa, that everything's really peaceful on the earth, on the universe, and in the universe, and just to be in the moment.
Thank you very much. And I just want to close with the EZosophy mantra, and that is that everything can be easy, or at least easier.
Easier.